Hello curl friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. Today I'm doing a review of Joico products. So I've used their stylers a multitude of different ways. I've been practicing with them, pairing them up different ways, just seeing how they work for my hair so I can give you a better idea of how they might work for your hair. But this is going to be a first impressions of the Washday products. So the shampoo and the conditioner are my first time using them, and I'll show you scenes of those in the shower here in a little bit. I also do want to note there is a slight caveat to today's routine and going into the future. We got a water softener, and so we've had pretty hard water. We have city water, but we've had pretty hard water in the past. It kind of fluctuates some here and there, but this is going to be a different experience. We're going to see if it changes things in the future, going into the future, if I find like I need to change my protein or my cleansing routines, just different things like that, see what my hair likes after having this water softener. So as I said, this is my first time experiencing or washing my hair with this water softener. It's my first time filming with this, but this probably won't be the first video you see with me using the water softener because I am filming a little bit out of order, just for my own convenience and everything like that. But anyways, let's get into the Washday products. So I'm going to show you clips of me in the shower applying them and just give you some thoughts and feedback on that. This is the Joico Defy Damage Protective Shampoo. This rich shampoo gently cleanses away impurities while helping to boost hair's natural defense against daily damage. The directions say to apply to wet hair, lather, rinse, and follow up with a Defy Damage Protective Conditioner or mask. This is a pearlescent shampoo with a scent that I would say is a sweet perfumed fragrance. It's not overpowering, at least in my opinion, but the lather on this shampoo, you guys, it was amazing. I had come from a previous wash day where I was really disappointed in the cleanse of those products, but this shampoo did a fantastic job. Normally I would go in with a second shampoo, but this one, I just felt like everything was clean in the first cleanse. And the lather on this, so it just worked so well through my hair that I was able to pretty much fully detangle my hair with just my shampoo. I've never experienced anything quite like that. This is the Joico Defy Damage Protective Conditioner. This daily conditioner replenishes lost moisture, restores softness, and boosts hair's resilience against breakage. The directions say to apply to clean, damp hair, leave in 2 to 3 minutes, and rinse. Now this was a decadent rich conditioner which felt so nice going on my hair, and it did not weigh my hair down, which is fantastic. It's definitely what I look for, being more fine hair curly. And I will say, like, the slip was wonderful on this, but my hair was already so detangled that my fingers are just gliding through my hair without any problem at all. A better test of this conditioner would actually be to use it after a shampoo that leaves my hair more gnarled and tangled. So I'll have to give that a try, but right now this is great. All right, now it is time to begin styling my hair. My hair is pretty wet, but I am just going to wet it down a little bit more. I like to style on soaking wet hair, and the directions for these products, most of them say, or at least the first one I'm pretty sure says to style on soaking wet hair. If not, anyways, that's how I like to style. I've never really had an experience where I've styled on soaking wet hair and it says to style on damp, that it's like really been a detriment. The only thing that affects, you have to take into consideration is how concentrated the product will be in your hair. So if it is your style or your holding agent, it might loosen some of the hold. It might just dilute the product somewhat. But also, I've said this before, I like to style on soaking wet hair because it really helps my curls clump and form. Everyone's a little bit different on that, but I am definitely one of those. If I style on damper hair, I can tend to get stringy curls a little bit more easily. All right, the first product we are going in with is the Joico Curls Like Us Hydrate and Define Styling Cream. I know the packaging might make it a bit hard to see, but let's begin applying this. I'm going to give you some specs on the products, and then I will tell you my thoughts on it after we finish that part. This is a Joico Like Us Hydrate and Define Curl Cream Styler. Our defining cream styler provides flexible hold that helps to fight frizz and encourages curl clumping while leaving hair looking shiny, moisturized, and healthy. The directions say to apply to wet hair, allow to air dry, or style with a diffuser. All right, so you saw me brushing the product through with my Tangle Teezer, just dispersing the product, and now I've brush styled the back section of my hair, and now I'm just working on brush styling the rest of my hair. But anyways, this cream is pretty lightweight. I find that for my hair, give me a second here. I forgot how I like to section this front pieces out a little bit. Okay, but anyways, as I was saying, I find that this cream is pretty lightweight for my hair. Yes, I didn't go in with much. I went in with just like a pea-sized amount, maybe slightly bigger than that. And I did do this, or I did apply these products once with my longer hair, but I think it was only once. And so even then, I didn't have any issues with it weighing my hair down. And that was when my hair was more easily weighed down because of the length and just the natural weight due to the length of my hair. But this has been a very lightweight. I find that it does a good job clumping my curls, and overall I do have a fair amount of shine. I don't know that it's just from this, it might be due to other products as well. I would like to try this kind of as a one and done, part of my one and done series. Let me know if you guys would be interested, but I do have it potentially on my list to try that way. I have a multitude of other products as well, but so far I really do enjoy this cream. Cream stylers can be kind of finicky for me because I really do generally prefer those over leave-ins, but leave-ins are generally more lightweight, but a cream styler tends to give your hair a little bit more hold and structure, a little bit more curl definition, and so I'm not looking for a cream to give like a ton of hold, but curl definition. And whereas a leave-in conditioner doesn't necessarily have that, and so that's why I tend to prefer creams, but they also tend to be heavier, which for a fine hair curly can not be good a lot of times. So it's just kind of one of those fine lines. If I do go in with the cream, I'm usually very light-handed with it. But now I'm just going to finish brush styling the rest of this. And I'll show you what it looks like before we go in with our next product. Okay, so just gonna finish scrunching these brush style curls. I think you can kind of see the definition already forming in my hair. Nice curl clumps. This is what it's looking like. All right, now I'm going to kind of roughly part my hair. I'm almost half tempted to do this just upside down because the last product I'm going to do, there's 3 stylers by the way, the last product I'm going to do is upside down. But this next one is the gel. I'm going to introduce this here in a minute, but I've always put this in upside down just because when I'm not filming, a lot of times that's what I do. But I guess we'll try putting this in right side up here. It probably doesn't make that much of a difference to you. I'm just thinking of convenience for me. All right, let's take a look at this gel. I'm going to give you the specs of this product while I'm putting it in, and then I'll tell you more about it as I'm probably scrunching it in. This is the JoiGel Firm Styling Gel. Versatile, firm hold gel provides volume, control, and shine. Great for wet or dry looks. The directions say to apply to damp or dry hair and style. These clips are significantly sped up, but I did go in with just a little bit more, just around my hairline edges, front and back. All right, I did end up flipping upside down. This gel is a very thick consistency gel, and it does take a little bit of water to really help it spread. I feel like I don't particularly care to use it just like straight out of the container without using some water just to help it spread around. But it is extremely lightweight on my hair. Like, it doesn't feel like I have anything on my hair. I have a leave-in and I have that gel, and I really don't feel like I have any product in my hair really at this point. The last product though that I'm going in with is a mousse. So it's been a while since I've done a mousse. I feel like a new review on a mousse form rather than a foam, even though this thing calls itself a foam. It's kind of odd. Like, I really don't see that happening. A lot of times products will call themselves a mousse even though they have a foam-like consistency, more of a watery or serum-like consistency, whereas a mousse has more of this pressurized canister for one thing, and it just has a thicker whipped type feeling to it, more of like an egg whites or like a shaving cream type feel to it. Anyways, let's begin applying. Let me introduce you to this product. While I'm applying it, I'll tell you more about it. This is the JoiWhip Firm Hold Design Foam. Its alcohol-free design foam provides firm hold with long-lasting body and volume. The directions say to shake well, hold can upside down, and dispense into hand. Distribute evenly onto damp hair and style. All right, so I had the mousse all scrunched in and wet plopped up in this little shower cap situation. And this mousse is once again one of those that has that true mousse format, that texture that is kind of, this is almost like a combination, I would say, between shaving cream and like the egg white texture. It feels like shaving cream in your hands, but there is that resistance. Like it won't really break down super well as you're trying to work it through your hands, which is fine. I don't mind that. But once you scrunch it into your hair, it really feels like nothing is in your hair. So I've had 3 products, 3 stylers in my hair now at this point, and my hair still feels very lightweight. It just doesn't feel like I have hardly anything in. So I'm gonna let the shower cap sit on about 15 minutes. I will diffuse and I'll come back and I'll show you the results. All right, curl friends, I'm excited to show you these results. Take a look at this hair. Oh my goodness. I mean, I do have a fairly fluffy collar, but let me tell you, this hair has a volume on its own. So this is what the curls are looking like. Guys, I got tons of good spiral curl definition. Oh my goodness, like they're very uniform. My last wash day, guys, I'm gonna be honest, my last wash day was the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk, and I was hoping for something like this for those products, and it was not. But this has good curl definition all throughout, like it's uniform. There's not like some pieces that are curly and some pieces that are hanging longer. It's very uniform. Not every curl is exactly the same, but overall it's very cohesive look to my hair. And that is what I like. This is what I have gotten before in the past using these products. So I was pretty hopeful, I was pretty confident that I would get good results. But I just was hoping, because there's been times in the past before where you've had products that you're like, you've worked with them for a while and you're like, oh, this is great, can't wait to show you. And I get in front of the camera, and for whatever reason, whether it's like the weather or I get overconfident and may put like too much product on or maybe not enough, I don't know. All kinds of factors can factor into your hair. I think sometimes my hair just has a mood of its own. But anyways, sometimes you try products and they don't always work the same that you've experienced before. It doesn't happen very often, especially if I've used a product for a fair amount like I have with these stylers. But I'm very chatty. Let me show you the back of my hair. All right, so as I was saying, I have great curl definition throughout my hair. I have great volume, which is what I've been craving because I had experienced it before, and I had that previous wash day that I didn't like. It just weighed my hair down. And this one is back to being volumized even with 3 products. I have a natural, healthy looking shine. I still have a decent amount of flyaways, but I honestly don't mind that much because my hair has so much volume to it. I just feel like it blends in better. There's a difference between like hair with volume and flyaways versus flat hair with flyaways. It doesn't sit as well, you know, it's not as easy to take in. So I am loving my results, but let's see how this holds up to day 2. And I'm also, stay tuned for day 2 because not only are we going to see how this holds up, but I'm also going to talk about these products individually, what I like about them, maybe what I don't like about them, or who I think that they're best for. So you can get a better idea if these might be a good fit for you. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about this hairstyle and the products tomorrow. All right, curl friends, welcome back to day 2 using the JoiCurl products. And I want to say, I actually did this whole spiel without recording it, so let's do it again. I feel like I should be fairly well rehearsed and know what I'm talking about, and I don't have to stutter or cut things out so much. That's the game plan, that's my hope. Anyways, let's take a look at these curls, how my hair is holding up and everything. I am actually very impressed, but not surprised, because like I said, I've been trying these products out for quite some time, and I kind of know what they give me. Let me show you the back of my hair. All right, so I will confess that there are a few things that I forgot to mention yesterday, but I was really just kind of wanting to not give too many details because I knew how much I like these products, and I just didn't want to spoil like day 2 and even how day 3 and 4 might hold up. So I have great curl definition still, I feel like today. There are a few areas that are a little bit more stretched out. Like I feel like this side is a little bit more stretched out. Maybe I laid on that a little bit more during the night, I'm not sure. But I do feel like still in general pretty good curl definition. I don't feel like my frizz has really expanded. I did comment on the frizz yesterday. I felt like I had a little bit more than I would generally like to see on day 1, but I don't feel like that has changed really at all. Usually a good judge of products, if they don't have hold, is if like the frizz continues to grow and everything like that. There are a few other things that I look for as well. One thing that I forgot to mention though is the moisture of my hair, you guys. The moisture It was on par yesterday. It was great moisture yesterday, and it still feels great today. I don't have any producty feeling, which I absolutely love, but the moisture is there from the roots clear down to the end. Then the last thing I forgot to mention was my hold. Yesterday, as I was diffusing my hair, I did get a slight cast, but as I continued to dry my hair and my hair became fully dry, the cast was completely gone. My hair was just soft and bouncy and fluffy, and that's what I liked. So I still feel like I have control to my curls. I still feel like hold to them, but I don't feel a cast or anything, if that makes sense. Now, let's get into the individual products. I'll tell you what I like or may not like and who I think that they're best for. This shampoo and conditioner set is fantastic in my opinion. I absolutely love this. Now, this was my first time using these products, and it was also my first time having softened water. So I don't know if things would have been different if I would have tried this under the more hard water that I had before. But this shampoo definitely had such fantastic lather, and that lather truly actually added an element of slip to it that I was not expecting. So not only did my hair end up clean, it was detangled with my shampoo. And I don't mean just a little bit detangled, like she was detangled. So when I went in with this conditioner, it really didn't have much work to do, but it did feel like it had great slip to it. And overall, my hair felt like it had that just right cleansed, strengthened, and moisturized combination for it. It was like the perfect combo. So I can't wait till there comes a time when I actually need these in my stash, like the full size. Let's be honest though, that's going to take a while because I'm always going to feel guilty about buying full size products, especially ones that are a little bit more expensive that I have to actually order online, because I just have such an overwhelming product stash. But I would definitely recommend these for you guys. I think they would be good for anyone, really. If you are a little bit more protein sensitive, you know, maybe just rotate these a little bit more often. These are what I would call a daily cleanser, even though you don't use them daily, but they're just your more general maintenance cleanse and everything. When you need a clarifying shampoo, reach for a more clarifying shampoo, because this is not that. But I do think that they're overall just a general good daily shampoo conditioner set. Moving on to the stylers. And this first product, the cream that I used, was one of the reasons why I wanted to try this whole brand. It was the Curls Like Us line that they have. This was the only product I ended up getting from that specific curly line. Just the more I looked into the line, I'm like, if I do all these products, I feel like they might be a little bit too moisturizing for my hair. And in order to give it the best chance to reach its fullest potential, I felt like it would be better if I mix and match things. But this cream is a winner in my opinion. I think this would be good for potentially anyone. Finer hair definitely has to be more careful with how much you go in with, but this is not one that leaves a productive feeling or residue on your hair. You can go in with a lighter amount, you know, just as your hair's thickness and density needs. Those with very coarse, dry hair, this might not be enough moisture. You might have to go in with like a leave-in conditioner and this as well. But just the clumping that this gives my curls, I think is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And the fact that it doesn't weigh my hair down, doesn't leave a productive feeling, it's a win-win in my book. Now, every time I have styled my hair with these products, I have always used this cream, and then sometimes I've paired all three together. Sometimes I've just paired the cream and the gel, and then other times I have just paired the cream and the mousse. So I've never done the cream on its own. I'm kind of wondering, since I am doing this one and done series in 2026, if this would be a good one for that. I'm still playing around with that idea. The next product that I went in with the styling routine was the JoiGel. And this one was one that Gina Marie actually put me on to. She said this was a really good firm hold gel, as the title says. And while I do think this is a good gel, this was probably the product that I'm like least excited about or least impressed with out of all this range here that I used. And that's not to say this is bad or anything. I just don't think this is as firm of hold as what I had thought it might be, or what I was led to believe, or what the title says. I would say this is more of a medium hold personally. And that's maybe being a little bit generous, maybe even medium soft. If we had a scale, firmest hold to softest hold, being on the far ends of my screen, and medium's right in the middle where my nose is, it would be right here. Just a little bit towards the softer side, but still pretty darn close to medium. That was a pretty pathetic explanation, and I apologize for that. But this gel is just one of those that when I paired it with the cream, it just didn't like excite me about the hold. And because it didn't have quite as much hold and structure to it, my curls didn't have quite as much bounce and volume to them. Now, as far as the frizz control as well, like I said, this one still, I get a few more baby hairs than I like on day one, but it doesn't really grow that much. Let me take that back. It did grow a little bit on day 2 when I used just this, but today it hasn't. Okay, so that tells you that the hold isn't as quite as firm hold as I think that they try to lead you to believe. But still, overall, it's a pretty good gel. Who do I think this would be best for? I think potentially anyone could use this. If you have very fine hair though, that category, that group is going to have to be a little bit more careful because it is a thick gel. You just need water to disperse it. Anyone I think would need some water to disperse this product a little bit better throughout your hair. I guess maybe if you have really coarse hair, it might not need as much, but those with the finest hair structures, you definitely would need some water. Maybe just scrunch a little bit into the ends wherever you want a little bit more control or things like that. But I think potentially anyone could use this. You just have to adapt it to your needs a little bit more. The next product and the last product that I used to style with was the JoiWhip Firm Hold Foam, as they call it, but I call it a mousse. Now I will say, this one had the biggest surprise for me. This has been a long time since I have found a mousse that I've really been this excited about. Now I have loved some foams because I like the Uncle Funky's foam that I have used. That's been one of my favorites. There's a few others that I've tried, but that one just keeps coming to mind. I really like the Design Essentials as well, but those are a different consistency. I almost kind of categorize those differently. But this mousse, a true mousse, it's been a long time since I've really fallen in love with one of these, and this is it. She is fantastic. She gives you hold. I think she gives better hold than the gel actually does, because when I paired this with just the cream, I had better hold and volume, and I just absolutely love my results. My hair was not dried out or anything, and I just, like, I don't know why I'm fluffing my hair today, like I'm showing off that combination, because I don't have that. I had the gel. I have all 3 products in my hair today, but my hair was just amazing. Absolutely love that. And I came very close to just doing that combination for you guys today because I thought those were the standout stylers. But I thought, no, let's talk about all 3 of them. But this is just a fantastic mousse. I think anybody could work with this, work it into your routine however you like best. If you want to use this, I never use this as a single styler. I'm not sure how that would work, but I think anyone from very fine to more coarse hair, from more over moisturized hair to more dry hair, I think anyone could potentially use this. And that is all. I feel like I've been very long-winded. That could be because, like I said, this is my second time going through this whole spiel and everything like that. But that is all I have for the Joico products. Let me know what you think of this review, if you've tried these products or if you're interested in them. I will leave all the products listed down below with links so you can use that if that helps at all. And until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye.